Hello viewers, welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that talks about breeding of terrorism and its impact on South Asian nations. Let's begin with the headlines first. IED expert from Pakistan neutralized in Kashmir. Taliban and Al-Qaeda continue to maintain close links, says UN report. Officials in Pakistani High Commission in India held for espionage. And protests erupt in Balochistan after army-backed criminals killed a woman and her kid. In a major breakthrough, Indian security forces neutralized the mastermind of foiled Pulwama car bomb attack on 3rd June. Abdul Rehman, the Pakistani terrorist associated with Jaish-e-Mohammed, was responsible for carrying large quantity of explosives on 28 May to carry out terrorist attacks on Indian security personnel. The forces launched a series of counter-terrorism operations this week, killing over half a dozen terrorists, most of them belonging to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed. Our report.
A counter-terrorism offensive aimed at wiping out Pak-backed terrorists from Jammu and Kashmir has gained fresh momentum, with the killing of as many as 7 terrorists in a week. After elimination of top Hizbul commanders, the security forces have now moved their offensive towards Jaish-e-Mohammed, resulting in the killing of 3 top terrorists in Pulwama in an exchange of fire on 3rd June. An IED expert and the mastermind of foiled Pulwama attack, Abdul Rehman, belonged to Multan in Pakistan and had been active in the valley for quite some time.
Abdul Rahman alias फौजी बाबा या भाई जो मुल्तान पाकिस्तान का है, अफगानिस्तान की लड़ाई में उन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया था और 2017 से पुलवामा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में इनफैक्ट की पूरे साउथ कश्मीर में एक्टिव है। ये बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट में पार्टिसिपेट किया है। दिसंबर 2019 में एक इनकाउंटर हुआ था जिसमें कामरान मारा गया था। ये भागने में कामयाब हो गया था 2019 में। ये आईडी एक्सपर्ट भी है और जो 28 तारीख को जो हम लोग मॉर्निंग में आईडी को जो डिटेक्ट किए थे, आर्मी सीआरपी पुलिस मिलकर उसको बाद में न्यूट्रलाइज किया था। उसमें ये बनाया भी था, इसका बहुत बड़ा मंशा था, बहुत बड़ा इंसिडेंट करने का।
Reports suggest killing of Rehman comes as a big blow to Jaish-e-Mohammed, as the number of IED experts in the terror group has reportedly now reduced to 2. The weakening of terror network by elimination of major terror commanders in the valley has baffled Pakistan, which has been desperately trying to hamper peace and harmony in the region, but has failed repeatedly in the past few weeks.
Jaish-e-Mohammed was declared a terrorist organization in 2001, and after Mumbai attack, he was detained but released again by Pakistan, because Pakistan espouses, looks after terrorist organizations and people like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar. So I think this is a good development and we should be happy about it, that one menace, one source of terror, one thorn has been removed from the face of this earth.
Separate counter-terrorism operations were also launched in the Tral and Kulgam sectors of Kashmir, where the security forces jointly neutralized as many as 4 terrorists. In Tral, the police recovered a huge cache of ammunition and weapons from the terrorists, who were also involved in a series of other crimes, including grenade hurling. A joint team of police, army and Central Reserve Police Force also carried out an operation in Wanpura area of Kulgam, where 2 terrorists were neutralized and several arms and ammunitions were recovered.
आज सुबह जो है दोनों आतंकी जो मारे गए हैं, दोनों की पहचान जो है वो एक मकबूल चौपान करके है और दूसरा आकिब रमजान वानी है, और ये दोनों जैश-ए-मोहम्मद के साथ काम कर रहे थे। इंटरेस्टिंग बात ये है कि मिलिटेंट 2 हैं मगर वेपन 4 पकड़े गए हैं इनसे। 2 AK-47 हैं और 2 पिस्टल हैं, उसके अलावा काफ़ी तादाद में जो है अम्यूनिशन भी पकड़ा गया है।
These recent bouts of encounters are similar to the Indian Army's Operation All Out of 2019, in which more than 160 terrorists were killed. It is not just one particular corner of the region, but the Indian security forces have been preemptively attacking their enemies in all zones and sectors. The training centers in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir also received major blow in 2019's Balakot airstrike, and since then, Indian security forces have been targeting the terrorists in the launch pads of POK at regular intervals.
Our intelligence agencies and security forces have now got hold of that situation, got hold of that area. Now they are closing on the elements, their centers, the training centers, the holding centers inside, close to Pulwama. That is why where the driver escaped, etc. Now they are all being caught. There is no doubt about it. But the question is, the idea can only be solved. This whole thing can be only solved when we eliminate the places from where they are coming from the POK. They have the training areas, the launching pads, the trainer elements, they all are out there and they are guiding the thing.
Currently, when the entire world is busy fighting COVID-19 pandemic, Pakistan is focusing on aiding and abetting terrorism. Pakistan Army generals who are at the helm of forming policies against India must realize at this point that when all of its plans are being foiled and terrorists are being killed, their strategies have proven to be counterproductive. Hence, it is in Islamabad's interest if they stop hatching anti-India plots and focus on the welfare of its own citizens.
Moving on, under the landmark peace deal between the Taliban and the United States, the insurgent group pledged to combat other extremist and terrorist groups and deny them from using Afghan soil to launch attacks on the United States and its allies. However, a recent report by the UN Security Council has revealed that the Taliban has not broken its ties with Al-Qaeda and continues to maintain close links with the terrorist group that plotted the 9/11 terrorist attacks. A report.
The United States began a war in Afghanistan with an aim to rid the country of Al-Qaeda's threat and topple the Taliban's regime weeks after the Al-Qaeda killed almost 3,000 people in the 9/11 terror attacks. Now, after fighting for almost 19 years, the United States is keen to withdraw its troops as soon as possible on the back of a precarious peace deal signed with the Taliban. However, a UN Security Council report recently revealed that the insurgent group has failed to fulfill one of the key points of the US-Taliban peace deal, that is, it would break its ties with Al-Qaeda. The report said that the Taliban still maintained close links to Al-Qaeda and sought its advice during recent negotiations with US officials. The report also states that relations between the Taliban, especially its Haqqani network, and Al-Qaeda remain close, based on friendship, a history of shared struggle, ideological sympathy, and intermarriage.
It's a very grim scenario and makes a mockery of the peace agreement at Doha, which took 19 months to be initiated, to be eventually signed. Under this peace agreement, Taliban has promised that they will not allow any other terrorist organization to function from the soil of Afghanistan. Apparently, that's not true. Even while the negotiations were on, it is believed that Taliban off and on sought advice of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is the one who were perpetrators of 9/11. Once again, they are beginning to attain a safe sanctuary and a safe place in Afghanistan from where they could carry out similar attacks against America in the future. It's indeed a grim picture for America, South Asia, as well as for the rest of the world.
Terrorist group Al-Qaeda, which America believed was decimated by its forces in 2001, has dispensed more than one proof of its existence and resurgence. While it was hiding and recovering earlier from the US onslaught in federally administered tribal areas of Pakistan, it is now believed to have several functional camps inside Afghanistan. According to the UN report, the Taliban is still providing protection to Al-Qaeda, which continues to operate in 12 provinces of Afghanistan with 400 to 600 operatives and a training camp in the eastern part of the country. The report also suggested that Haqqani Network, in cooperation with Al-Qaeda, is planning to form a new joint unit of 2,000 armed fighters that would be broken into zones in 2 different parts of eastern Afghanistan.
Al-Qaeda, with the help of Haqqani Network and Taliban, have already established themselves in a very major way in 12 districts of Afghanistan. They have established several terrorist training camps in eastern Afghanistan and have got 600 hardcore terrorists already operating there. Several of their leaders have been eliminated, but they've been able to throw up very many more leaders. Under these circumstances, I am of the firm belief that over a period of time, Al-Qaeda will once again re-establish itself and take full control of Afghanistan. It will be a huge problem for people of Afghanistan. Once again, strict Sharia laws would be put in place. Democracy will be given the go-by. Entertainment and romance will disappear. And it will be a huge problem, not only for Afghanistan, but for the rest of the world as well as for South Asia.
There is an apprehension that US departure followed with possible covert support from the Taliban. The Al-Qaeda will grow dreadful and fearless. Pakistan, a country that has historically supported the rise of terrorism and has been the epicenter of several terrorist attacks across South Asia, will capitalize the situation, and this will pose a greater security challenge to the entire Indian subcontinent and the Middle East. Experts say that it will be very difficult to assure peace in Afghanistan unless Pakistan will not put a halt on its unambiguous support to terror.
Pakistan is very deeply involved in all chaos and mayhem that takes place in Afghanistan. UN Security Council report further brings out that at this point of time there are 6,500 foreign terrorists in Afghanistan, and all of them belong to the Pakistani army or the Pakistani nation. In addition to Al-Qaeda and Taliban and Haqqani Network, there is a huge amount of Jaish-e-Mohammed, LET, etc. in Afghanistan. And all of them are being supported, abetted, armed, funded by Pakistan. To that extent, Pakistan is the real culprit, and war against terrorism in Afghanistan actually is being lost and played in Pakistan.
Moreover, these deep ties between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda are a serious and significant factor that could break the already fragile peace agreement apart. After more than a year of negotiations, the US government and the Taliban signed a peace deal on February 2019-2020 that calls for the full withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan within 14 months, including a Taliban guarantee that Afghan soil will not be used as a launchpad by terrorist forces against the US and its allies, the launch of intra-Afghan negotiations, and a permanent and comprehensive ceasefire. However, in such an endless and uncertain situation, a rushed US withdrawal could leave Afghanistan headed for a return to the status quo of the years prior to 2001.
Pakistan's notorious Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI is using country's diplomatic missions abroad to sponsor terror and create mayhem. The Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi has been exposed on several occasions where its ISI-trained diplomats were found engaged in espionage. In a recent incident, 2 Pakistani diplomats were deported after they were caught red-handed in collecting secret information about the Indian Army. We have a report. Countries around the world have established their embassies and high commissions in each other's territories to strengthen bilateral relations through diplomacy. But Pakistan has been using its high commissions to hedge mischievous conspiracies against its neighbors. In a major embarrassment to Islamabad, 2 of its medium-rank officials identified as Abid Hussain and Mohammad Tahir at Pakistan's High Commission in New Delhi were caught for espionage while procuring sensitive document about Indian Army. Hussain and Tahir were caught red-handed in an operation by India's military intelligence. The officials were working at visa section of the Pakistan High Commission and confessed that they worked for Pakistan's spy agency, the ISI. After being declared as persona non grata by India, the two have been expelled from the country.
Personnel in the Pakistan embassy having been caught for spying, this is something that we expect. I mean, it's not something which one should be, amazed that it's happened. We've got to keep our eyes open, and we have to know that if these people will be doing that, and when you know that they are doing that, you have got to keep your eyes open and catch them. Don't be surprised that A or B or C has been found to be doing it. We know they will be doing it. And what's important is that once this matter has been exposed, you have to then carry this forward, not just to the fact of raising the issue that they've been spying. It's then to know who are the contacts that they've been in touch with, and then investigate those matters further.
Time and again, agents of Pakistan's intelligence agencies have been exposed for leaking sensitive information that lead to major terror attacks in India. Earlier this year, the anti-terror squad arrested Mohammed Rashid, an ISI agent from Varanasi city, after he was found working for his handlers based in Pakistan since March 2019. The ISI agent was passing on critical information to Pakistani intelligence agencies over social networking app. It is no secret that Pakistan's ISI is closely working with terror groups to create mayhem in India.
Intelligence agencies of other countries will use all means possible. They've got their personnel over here who are paid, they've got their personnel who have leanings towards them, and they'll use them to get the information about what's happening in each of the areas.
In a huge embarrassment to Pakistan, the biggest ever spy network attempting to gather information about the Indian defense in Ladakh was busted in Mumbai by the military intelligence of Jammu and Kashmir and the crime branch of Mumbai Police. In a joint operation, the crime branch of Mumbai Police and military intelligence of the Indian Army unearthed 3 functional Chinese SIM boxes and 1 standby SIM box along with 191 SIM cards, laptop modem, antennas, batteries and connectors used for an illegal voice over internet protocol exchange in Mumbai. Information by Indian agencies revealed that a few illegal VoIP exchanges at Mumbai, which routed calls incoming from Pakistan to local numbers, were used to extract information from defense persons.
The intelligence agencies of Pakistan will use every possible means that they have to try and get information about the Indian activities all over the country. So this is not something that is unexpected, because they will use every means that is possible. What they're doing today is making calls from various countries all over the world and using this SIM card setup to raise questions with maybe the Jawans in some place or the other, or people who do not suspect that they are being called with the view of trying to obtain information from them by the agencies themselves. They'll pretend to be A or B or C.
Pakistan Army and spy agencies like ISI and MI are indulged in malicious activities like infiltration and espionage to unleash mayhem in India. In a sophisticated world where the other countries are looking forward to establishing peace, harmony and developing new technologies for the advancement of the world settlement, Pakistan's tail policy of terrorism and espionage is causing violence and is creating an environment of distrust in the world. Moving on, massive protests have erupted in Balochistan demanding justice for Bramsh, a 4-year-old who was shot along with her mother in Turbat town of the region by army-backed criminals. People have taken to both streets and social media demanding expedite execution of justice. The indigenous people of Balochistan have accused Pakistan establishment of illegally occupying their land for more than 7 decades, for which they have also launched various campaigns.
Massive protests have erupted across Balochistan, the largest province which the locals have been demanding freedom for more than 7 decades. The protests came in the backdrop of a mother and a child shot by a group of burglars who enjoy an indirect patronage from Pakistani establishment. Baloch people worldwide also joined the protest by launching online campaign Justice for Bramsh on social media. The hashtags demanding justice have been trending on top on social media sites, with campaigners equating it with American protests for George Floyd. Although such state-sponsored atrocities are not uncommon in the region, people have termed it a tipping point in their struggle against barbaric Pakistani army.
I think the people of Balochistan have bared enough. They have been bearing this pain, this agony, these injustices for a long time now. But now they have said enough is enough. And that is why we have seen a Balochistan type of, if I say I won't be wrong, a protest of American type, which is currently happening there. So this is Balochistan's Baloch Lives Matter protest, which demands justice for Bramsh.
The incident happened in the wee hours on May 26, when some criminals barged into the house of Malik Naz in Danuk area and started firing. Naz was shot dead and her 4-year-old daughter Bramsh got seriously injured. After hearing the gunshots, the residents captured one of the criminals, identified as Altaf Mazar. Altaf revealed the link between his gang with a group of death squads. Death squads is the term used for groups which are supported by Pakistan Army and intelligence agencies, the ISI and the MI. They have been carrying out all forms of human rights violations to silence those who seek their rights and demand justice.
Once the people go into their normal life, there will be another incident. And even when people are protesting in other parts of the Balochistan, the incidents are happening. The people are going missing. There are looting going on. And similar to this incident, which happened 2 weeks ago, a boy in Avaran was kidnapped and raped by the member of local death squad. He was a small kid, school-going kid.
Baloch human rights organizations report more than 8,000 extrajudicial killings and over 45,000 people as victims of enforced disappearances in the province. Thousands in the region are internally displaced because of armed conflicts and army operations. Pakistan Army has systematically carried out atrocities on the people, targeting intellectuals, especially journalists, students and political activists. Experts across the forum believe that Balochistan is one of the world's most violent conflict zones that continues to remain in the grip of Pakistani troops.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@aniin.com. This is Yeshi Chonzum signing off on behalf of the entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.